Hello and welcome back everyone to another Total War video. Today we are looking at the upcoming Total War Three Kingdoms Furious Wild expansion, which releases on the 3rd of September. Creative Assembly very kindly gave me early access to a preview build of the expansion, so well, let's have a look, shall we? So, from the off, the expansion feels very different from previous Three Kingdom editions. Gone are the political maneuvers and spying of the Northern Han factions. Instead, we have the intertribal conflicts of the NonMan peoples. These hardy southern folk occupy a vastly expanded southwestern section of the campaign map, opening up more gameplay for previous Han factions, which, let's be honest, it was a pretty desolate region, and it creates some new challenges. Playing as the NonMan feels very different from the current offering, as the objective of the tribes isn't to become the Emperor of all China, or Tiansha, but instead to unify the tribes through brutal expansion and cunning diplomacy. Honestly, it feels like you're playing a macro game inside the Three Kingdoms setting, as the actions of the Han don't have any real impact on you until much later in the campaign, when the much larger northern factions will start eyeing your territory greedily. So out of the box, so to speak, you get access to 4 new playable factions in the form of Menghua, the easiest to get to grips with and certainly most accessible, since he has a heavy emphasis on expanding rapidly while maintaining good diplomatic relations with other NonMan tribes. Then there's Lady Jurong, who can actually marry Menghua through a romance mode option, plays like a more seasonal expansion faction. Her powerful wildfire abilities can overpower her units for a few turns, allowing her to overcome the odds and expand quickly before she suffers burnout as a debuff. King Shamoku, who has the highest and toughest start being surrounded by enemies, he has great rewards for aggressive expansion. And finally we have King Mulu, the ritualist in tune with nature. He has access to powerful elephant units and rituals to temporarily empower his forces. 2 other unique leaders can be encountered in these territories, such as King Utugu and King Duosu, both of whom have unique units to acquire should you best them and add them to your faction. Yeah, actually, one of the more interesting aspects of the Furious Wild is the Failty System. Basically, every tribe in the expansion has a unique fealty trait that will grant buffs to your faction overall, such as an increase in research speed or greater trade influence. The unique factions, however, grant new units such as Jurong's Tiger Warriors, Mulu's War Elephants, Utugu's Southern Shields, and so forth. Conquering the tribes isn't necessary to attain these either. Vassalization or military alliance will also grant these, so long as you are uniting the tribes it will all add up. Confederation, though, is still likely the best way to approach this, since, like any Total War game, the main aim is to gobble up as much territory as possible to expand your income and secure your flanks from any potential threat. Much like culture packs from Rome 2, the NonMan also have a new research tree that requires you to perform tasks to unlock the next set of advancements. I quite like it personally, since it gives you something to aim for while you play. These can range from upgrading a building in your settlement chain to conquering territory or earning a set amount of gold. They aren't tough, and you mostly complete them as you go, but it does help you focus a bit when you're trying to figure out what your next goal is going to be. The NonMan generals also have a unique class, simply referred to as NonMan, and this also means they have no particular affinity for one of the established classes. Where Han generals might be a strategist or a commander, or a yellow turban might be a healer, the NonMan actually get to pick a rank from any of the 5 as you see fit, meaning you can tailor any of your generals to a particular class that you want them to play as. This also allows them to pretty much recruit any type of unit from the NonMan roster. The drawback is that they lack the skill tree seen in the Yellow Turban and Han factions. Instead, they have personal missions in each category that unlock permanent bonuses, such as an increase to their melee damage, more retinue ammunition, higher defense, greater leadership, and many more. The free addition as well for this update comes in the form of a new faction of Cersei, a new Han faction that borders the world of the NonMan and the Han Empire. His faction relies on gaining influence in other noble courts by placing members of his extended family within them, either through marriage, servitude in the court, or as a general in their militaries. As he gains splendor as his faction resource, it allows him to grant tribute chests, which can be used during diplomacy to ensure he gets a better deal, or to boost a character's stats or satisfaction. All the more to ensure his continued involvement in the politics of the Han and its court. Some unique officers will also appear as well, such as Wei Yan, who any fan of Dynasty Warriors will remember as the barbarian warrior of Shu. Here, of course, he's much different visually, but it's nice to see Creative Assembly slowly expanding that unit roster of unique characters, allowing us to one day have that perfect Dynasty Warriors roster that we all remember. But anyway, that was just a quick overview. I hope it explained some of the main features of the expansion. Any questions, just ask below, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.